friends, it's Jacob. You've joined me again today in my car. I am on a little adventure today to find some really cool things to paint. And I just saw something on the side of the road that I am going to see if I can't get a picture of. No, not the post office, but close to the post office. So I was driving down the highway and I saw this little house right here with this tree. And I really liked the way it looked, just the way the light hits the roof and the way the tree casts a shadow on top of it. So I'm gonna grab a picture of that. That could be a painting at some point. Just driving down the highway, happened to see that out of the corner of my eye. And I had to pull over and take a picture of it. You never know where you're gonna find your next painting. Also, I'm liking the way these houses look over here. It's a very interesting spot. Just a little tiny glimpse of rural desert life. We've got these really interesting teeny tiny little communities scattered around just out in the desert. So we're gonna keep heading south towards Tucson, Arizona. I want to get to the Saguaro National Park. Get some cool desert scenery. Here's another scene I just found. Those old silos back there. I definitely want to paint those. I really like the way they stick out in this scrubby landscape. Welcome to Saguaro National Park. Aptly named. Now I just need to find something that captures this place and does it justice, or at least tries to. It might take a while to actually find a good scene out here. Kind of like this view right here. Yeah, this could turn into something. I really like the shape of this one. Cactus can get super twisted arms a lot of the time. Yeah, I think I'll grab a picture of this one. Look at that. Beautiful. I also just noticed the shadow this one is casting on the ground here. I really like how that looks. I'm gonna get a picture of that too. Hiking down into this little wash area. There's all kinds of cool stuff happening down here. Got this beautiful ironwood tree right there. I just love how the wood is so gnarled and scraggly looking. Yeah, definitely want to find a scene in here somewhere. That prickly pear looks pretty nice too. I might get a picture of that. I really like the way it looks with the cast shadow on the ground. I just turned the corner and I saw this. This is beautiful. I love how you got the bed of the wash. You got these rocks sticking up out of the bottom. Then you got this bank on that side, and then you've got cactus on top. This is a great scene. Definitely going to turn this into a painting. Climb back up to the top of the bank here. I also like having this more elevated view of the whole wash. As I look right here, I do like how you got these three little smaller saguaros, and that shape kind of leads your eye back into the wash area, so that could also be a scene. Here's another good view of a wash from above. One of these days I'm gonna come back and explore Saguaro National Park more thoroughly, but there's a few other places I want to try to get to today, so let's continue on. I just saw something else on the side of the road. I love how these saguaros frame that red mountain in the background. I think that looks amazing and gives you a great sense of depth and space and really highlights the character of this landscape. So I'm in the foothills of the Santa Rita Mountains, which are those mountains right there. This is an absolutely fascinating place. The landscape drastically changes from desert to mesquite forest, like the one I'm in right here, to eventually full-blown pine forest up there at the top. And there are just so many interesting potential things to paint around here. So I think I'm probably going to be here for the rest of the day, just exploring around and seeing what kind of different landscapes I can find. That is a giant cricket. Look at that. The thing is huge. I'm liking this tree here and the shadow that it's casting that kind of comes onto the road. And I like how the road kind of arcs around like that. That might make a nice little scene. Then you got those bright yellow flowers here and there. By the way, I don't know if you can see, but there are butterflies everywhere. This place is just bursting with life. It may be a desert, but it is a very lush, vibrant green desert. By the way, this is how I record the soundscapes that I use in my videos. I love the sound of that cicada, so I'm gonna let that recorder run for a while and hopefully get some nice nature ambiance out here in the scrubland. Love this little agave here. Probably snap a photo of that in case I want to paint it. I love the spiky texture, the really nice highlights on the leaves, and then the spiky shadow on the ground. Okay, soundscape acquired. Let's head farther up the mountain and see what we can find. See how the landscape is changing? It's so much more lush now. Green. We went from desert to forest. This is mixed forest. A little higher up, it's just straight pine trees. But it is just lovely. I'm not sure if I will actually find anything to paint In here, everything is very dense and closed in, but we'll see what we can find. And if not, it's still a beautiful place to just hike around. Not really finding any scenes that stand out to me yet, but I did find this nice little brook here. So I'm gonna get some nice water sounds. It is just so beautiful down in this ravine though, the way the light's coming through. The problem is, I'm not exactly sure how I would turn this into a painting. I'm sure one of you could. I mean, maybe right here, just have it be very atmospheric and abstract. I really struggle with scenes like this that are very enclosed, but I mean, I might give this one a try. I really love the way the light looks. This is a really fascinating environment. The Santa Rita Mountains form what's known as a sky island, where if you imagine the desert floor is the ocean, and then you've got these isolated chains or peaks of mountains that stick straight up out of the desert floor, thousands of feet high. And because of that, they catch more rain. And so these mountains, these isolated mountain peaks become little islands of green and life in the ocean of desert. It's a very unique aspect of the landscape here in southern Arizona and down into northern Mexico. Every single one of these sky islands has its own unique ecology, its own endemic species of animals and plants. It's just fascinating. What an interesting place. You know, I've been thinking a lot lately about why it is that I feel compelled to paint. What is it about it that I find so fascinating? Ooh. I just saw these flowers. The way that they're catching the sun from behind like that. I might have to get a picture of one of those. Because the thing is, painting is a relatively new thing for me. I only started painting seriously in 2019. It's 2025 as of recording this video, so about 6 years ago. I've always been fascinated with painting and with art, but I've just never taken the time to learn how to do it. I've never taken any kind of art lessons or anything like that. But I have always been a very creative person, especially with music. I've been a musician for as long as I can remember. And anytime I see anybody doing something creative that I find interesting, I feel compelled to learn how to do it myself. And that's kind of what happened with painting. For me, it's capturing the feeling of being here in a place like this. The perfect stillness of nature. The energy of this place, which is just utterly and perfectly calm and peaceful, is something I've been trying to cultivate within myself. I would call myself a spiritual seeker. I'm an avid meditator. I'm fascinated in understanding consciousness, how it works, why it works, what my place is in it. And coming to places like this, where everything just is. It's just existing perfectly. I've realized that I can bring that into my own life in a way where my life just flows, kind of like this creek. It's just flowing perfectly, just as it is. And painting is a way for me to capture that and put it onto a physical medium and share it with the rest of the world. It's something like participating in the act of creation itself. Because you're going from a blank sheet of paper to a full scene inspired by places like this. Creation is the most powerful force in the universe. It is what the universe is. The universe is creation. This is creation. And for me to be able to participate in this universal power is really hard to put into words. Painting has opened my eyes to really see how beautiful this planet of ours is in ways that I didn't notice before. I've always had an eye for beauty. Ever since I was a kid, I was wanting to learn how to do photography, things like that. But learning how to paint has trained my brain to see the world in terms of potential paintings. As you've been seeing in my little excursion today, I'm always finding that could be a painting, that could be a painting. There's a reference photo, there's one. Big scale, small scale, capturing an entire landscape or just capturing one flower, you know? It's all beautiful, and it's all participating in this amazing creation that we have on this planet. Well, it's about time for me to head back. I hope you enjoyed me taking you along this little excursion to go out and find some amazing reference photos, give you a little peek into my process about how I do that. I'm planning on doing more of these kinds of videos. So if you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Many more to come. And I will see you in the next video. Also, don't forget to check out my website, jacobbentzstudio.com, where you can buy my original artwork if any of my paintings really resonate with you. And you can also buy prints. And you can sign up for my newsletter. So hopefully I'll see you over there.